morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel L. Conant. Welcome to Pre-Market Info.
This market continues to hold that 1449, 1450 area. Can it continue to hold it today? We rallied overnight, but we've peeled back only up a point now. AutoZone disappoints, but General Mills beats. Microsoft raises the dividend, but the company not really getting any much of a rally off of it. And we're going to look at some key analyst upgrades and downgrades. UBS not liking the train stocks. Joel, is this market going to continue to hold this 1449 area or what?
It's going to be like the that 1395 level. We're just going to hold it, and then just catapult to 1500 all of a sudden.
So we're building the base to catapult? Do you think that's what's going to happen here?
Yeah, have you seen that technical formation before?
Yeah, we've seen all these technical formations before. You get this whole consolidation thing and the spike, a little bit of consolidation and the spike. Here's your consolidation here again. Now, I don't know, maybe it's going to fake everybody out and die, but definitely needs to hold this 1449 area. We're going to continue to talk about this number. It held yesterday. It held from a couple days ago. Hasn't drifted down there this morning. As low as we've been is 1453. So we've held above there, but again, needs to hold that because there is a lot of air below that level.
Yep. Just taking a look at the upside real quick, we did get up to 59 and a quarter. That was just a tick above Monday's high. So that would be a very, very big resistance level. And then you've highlighted the downside, 1449. We've had 3 consecutive lows in that area, 1449, 1450. And that is the key to 1500. We'll see what happens today.
Apple, take your 700 hats out of the bag. You hit it yesterday, took it out in the regular session right a little bit of half an hour into the day. Kind of hung out there all day though, and then started to sell off. You get that whole breakout and shakeout thing happening. They knock it down to about 696 and change, but then it turns around and starts actually to rally back up. Close strong. It's down a little bit here in the pre-market, but holding up pretty good.
Yeah, it did. It ticked 7:04 right at the 4 a.m. opening. Was that you up there, Dennis, at 4 a.m.?
No, not me buying Apple up a couple bucks at 4 a.m. Sorry, Joel. I didn't kiss the high. I didn't make the journal.
Hey, I'm getting long this thing. No, we come back and we pull back to 7:01 in the pre-market. Seems to be finding some support there. Really, the only thing I can really say is on the downside here, if you really want to play it close to the vest, protect your profits. 695 is a little bit above Monday's low. If we get below that area, there could be a pretty good break, and resistance is at 800.
Google did break out of that area. We had been talking about this whole 712, 713 area where we had multiple highs. Took it out off the hop. When Apple took out 700, Google said, I'm taking out my resistance too. Took it out, spiked up to 716.75, then pulled back a little bit, but then eventually later in the day started to mount a rally here again. Got up and closed at 718.28. Is up a buck in the pre-market, 719.28. Can Google continue to run here? Is it breaking out?
Well, just a couple things to point out on Google here. After it did finally break through that 713 level, you really did not get a chance to buy it anywhere near there. The pullbacks later in the day just did not get down to that level. So keep a real close eye on that 713 that is now going to act as major support at Google. Going to the charts, of course, you have to go to the monthlies when you get moves like this. 724.80 was our high back in December of 07. That's your next resistance point. Looking at the pre-market chart here, it looks like someone's trying to wiggle out of some stock here at the 719 level. We have traded above it. 719.28 has been your pre-market high.
Couple stocks reporting earnings here this morning. AutoZone, the big one, they reported earnings of $8.46 against estimates of $8.40. So a slight beat on earnings, but the revenue is light, $2.76 billion against the estimates of $2.8 billion. They are knocking the stock down on that this morning. It's traded lower here. Joel will find out how low it got in the pre-market, but right now it's at $3.44, closed at $3.57.
Well, you did get a spike down to the 336 level. Bounced immediately back to 344. Looks like you have the Bears and the Bulls squaring off here between 344 and 345. So I'd take a look at those levels, see for some consolidation. Going to the longer term charts on this, boy, you just had
Breaking
major support
down.
at that 351 level, 350. We've broken through that. Look at all those monthly lows
Yep.
there around
Yep.
352,
Yep.
353. So, I mean, that's going to be your resistance for now. What do you think? Are people going to stop fixing the old cars and buying new cars? Is that the implications
Maybe,
on
maybe
this?
when the economy starts to get better, that's what happens. Is that people don't like to fix up their old beers. I'll go buy a new car. I've got this wealth effect created by Ben Bernanke. I don't need to fix up my car anymore. I'm going to go buy a new one. So we don't need auto parts. But I don't think that's the case. Although I do not like this chart. I agree. It looks like it's breaking down through key critical support here. We had a pretty decent run up here back in early 2012. So moves down quickly or moves up quickly can move down quickly. I'm not in love with this chart at all. We do have a couple sympathy moves here too. Advanced Auto Parts often moves with this company. AAP is the symbol on that one. Is trading down here this morning, down a buck, just over a buck at 66.48. Very light volume, but looks like it's going to be weak as well.
Yeah, you did have some serious support in this stock at 66.30 to 66.60. Those were the lows back in the beginning of August. We're currently treading around that level. Below that, you have a lot of air down here to the low of the move, 60.87. But obviously, AutoZone's going to be your leader on this.
Yeah, it looks like it could take out its key support here too. One more auto parts maker, O'Reilly there too, ORLY. Same type of chart. All these stocks look the
Wow, look at
same.
that.
They all look the same. They were all teetering on critical support, and they're all breaking through it here this morning on the AutoZone earnings. And O'Reilly's getting beat up pretty good here, down almost $3, 78.33 on 2,500 shares. So light volume again, but with AutoZone so weak, you got to think these things are all going to open up through those support areas as well.
Look at that. A triple bottom there, right at the $80 level. Of course, it would have been nice to play it going through there during the day session, but that's not the case. This is a real scary looking chart
Hmm.
because you have absolutely no
Nothing.
reference points until 75.61. They set some shorts that want to bring it in, so I would. There's nothing there,
Nothing in
and
there.
yeah, I mean you can't make it up. I mean they do have very good commercials. Do you guys get the commercials over there?
O'Reilly, I don't know if I've seen an O'Reilly
I
commercial.
no, I won't sing for our subscribers. But it has a good jingle. The only
Gotta
trades,
love
like
the
you said,
Irish.
yeah, yeah. Oh, don't say that. Michigan's playing Notre Dame on
Okay,
Saturday.
okay. Well, we won't say that then. Uh, I'd want to highlight FedEx one more time here from yesterday. It did, in fact, get into the 86 handle. Didn't quite get down as low as it did in the pre-market yesterday. Is bouncing a little bit here this morning, just on very, very light volume, up at 87 and a quarter. But like we've said, 86 has had support back in June multiple times. Got down there in July. Did cut through there at the beginning of September, but we were saying 86 might give you some support. It looks like it is going to. If it peels back in that handle, just be cognizant that there seems to be buyers in the 86 level.
Well, are you just trying to bring up like the worst possible charts or something? This is like a bull market. What are you doing, bringing up all
You
these?
know, well, I gave you Google off the bat. How do you get a better
Okay,
chart
yeah,
than
Google
Google?
and Apple, right? Okay.
Yeah, we started the show
The,
strong.
the only thing about the FedEx that of course that at 86.36 level where we hit a low yesterday, and I believe we got to 86 in the pre-market, getting a nice pop. After companies release earnings and you have a wild day, a pretty good range, it's usually interesting to watch the stocks for the next couple days to see if they take out the parameters. For example, if we take out this 86.36 level, people are going to have a little bit of a negative tone. Below that, you have a low at 85.31. Coming back on the upside, really, you don't see that resistance until yesterday's high at 88.33.
Couple stocks that are going to report here. Actually, just one more that reported this morning, just before I move on to the ones that are going to report tonight. GIS, which is General Mills, it also reported earnings here too. Stock is trading up here pretty good in the pre-market. 40.
Big move for
It,
General
it
Mills.
is. That is a big move. $40.15. This is a low beta stock, and it's moving up here pretty good through a key $40 resistance area. I wonder if it can open over 40 in the regular session. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, all-time high on this stock is back in January of this year, 41.06. But you had a more recent high at 39.76. Let this baby float up here in the pre-market. Let us do his thing here on only 16,000 shares and see if it opens up at a level where it attracts some sellers.
Yeah, we'll have to see if it can open over that 40 resistance area in the regular session. Bed Bath & Beyond's going to report tonight, which is triple BY. Joe always gets it messed up, BBY. This is the triple
Oh, wait,
BY.
still.
This is the triple BY. It's trading up here just a little bit. Actually, last night it traded up just a little bit. Hasn't made any trades here this morning. But the stock is closed 68.39. Has actually had a nice uptrend going until just a couple days ago, or yesterday actually, when it sold off.
Yeah, call this whole 68 level as major support. You had a low on the 6 at 67.78. You got down to 68.22 yesterday. But below the 68 level, boy, you could get a nice little drop here to 66. And that 70 looks like it's going to be huge resistance today.
And then Oracle reports tomorrow night. That's going to be your big gun in the tech sector, obviously. And this stock has been on a tear. Ever since it bottomed back in the 25 handle in May, it's been just a straight up march. You could draw this trend line here.
I'll let you draw
I'll draw the trend line for you there, Joel. That is
that's a trend line.
Beautiful trend line there. So obviously keep that trend in mind if you were trading Oracle after the bell tomorrow night. Stock continues to march up here.
Yeah, just look. I mean, it's had a huge run here.
Oh.
And I believe that low that it had, that spiking down there when it got under 26, I believe that was on an earnings announcement. Looking at the stock in the pre-market, you did get a pop here to 33.27. Use that as resistance. The only thing I could alert traders to here is you are still rallying in the stock here, long continued rally, but the range is starting to really tighten up. And, what that tells me is that there are still buyers in the stock, but more people are willing to let go of their stock, and they're just, keeping it within a tighter range. I think this thing gets a solid break below 32.60. You can start to give some of it back, perhaps get down to the $32 level.
UBS, bearish, all of the train stocks here. They're downgrading 4 of them this morning. CSX getting a downgrade. NSC getting a downgrade, UNP getting a downgrade, and Kansas City Southern, KSU, getting a downgrade as well. They're all trading down on light volume in the pre-market on these UBS downgrades.
Well, let's start with CSX. That stock is all of them have had a pretty good run. Seem to be pulling back a little bit.
Big
you really
resistance up there.
Yeah, you can't really tell much from the pre-market activity. There's not a lot. There's some room to get back here under yesterday's low at 22.80. That's currently where we're trading. I'd use that as a swing number. Below that, you got minor support at 22.50 and major support at the $22 level.
And then NSC, it's another one, Norfolk Southern. It was breaking down just a little bit actually in yesterday's trade, but then if we bring up the daily chart, it actually popped up just at the end of the day, so I had the whole breakdown. Maybe somebody got a little tip off, but then it rallied it all the way back.
Oh, that doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen. We won't say that. So anyways, rallied it all the way back, and UBS says, get us out, and there's downgrading it, so...
Yeah, 72.97 was yesterday's low. Still trading above that level. I'd use that as a swing number. Below 73, you really don't have any major support until the 72.40 area.
JP Morgan downgrading Waste Management. You want to talk about a stock that doesn't move a heck of a lot. It's kind of like your dividend play here. You got the yield in front of you on that WM? Think
No,
it's
I
around.
don't.
I think it's around 4%. I don't have it in front of me either. But I used to play this on a covered. I used to do this in my portfolio, where I'd buy the stock and just write calls to enhance the yield on it. I think a lot of traders play the stock in this way because the volatility on this thing is just next to nothing. You've got 600 shares trading at down 60 cents here on this J.P. Morgan downgrade. I don't know if it's going to open that low or not, considering that this thing usually moves about 20 cents.
Yeah, you've had, if you're looking at rangetrader.com here, you've had a lot of activity between 33.72 and 34.30 area. Been trading in there for the last 4 or 5 days. Below this 34 area, you have all those lows still at 88, 86, right in that area. If in fact it can cut through there, you do have a real whoosh
You
area
do.
here down to 33.17. I'm not sure what induced that rally that day, but there's a vacuum area that you really wouldn't want to be long if this stock can't hold the $34 level.
Long term, I like this stock at 32. I've actually sold. I've got I think 100 shares left, but I was playing it always in my investment portfolio with 500, and I'd just turn around and write five, and then I had an extra 100 just kicking around. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, so I do have 100 shares in my investment portfolio for full disclosure. But down here at 32, I love this 32 level. I'll probably buy it down there if it gets down there again for my own portfolio, and I'll probably write some upside calls against it just to enhance the yield. So it does become this yield play down as it pulls back here. But it had a big run. You obviously had the whole everybody looking for yield, probably moving the stock up, and then now it's kind of breaking through its support area, at least in the pre-market. And if the JP Morgan downgrade can have some follow-through for the next couple of days, who knows? Maybe we could see that 32. So you always want to be prepared. I don't think we're going to see it today, but if it does continue to drift down to that area, I think that's where you'll find some great support. The toy makers getting downgraded by Needham. Hasbro and Mattel, both of them getting downgrades here this morning. Stocks are not really trading on these downgrades, but I'm assuming, there's no volume here yet, I'm assuming they're going to open down. Mattel is offered down 20 cents in the pre-market, no takers. Hasbro is offered down just slightly to about 18 cents. Somebody offering 38.49 after closing 38.67. There's no takers for him either, so it does appear these stocks are going to open lower.
Do kids actually play with toys nowadays? I
I
mean,
think
I
they
just
just play
thought,
with iPhones.
yeah, iPhones, iPads, all these, whatever Ninja Turtle games or whatever. We had good support in Mattel at this 35.88 to 89 level. Double bottom there. If it takes that out, you got a little ride on the downside down to 35.40. And then looking at Hasbro, you did have support here at 38.67. That's currently where we're trading, right at that area of the close. Closed near the low of the day yesterday. If, in fact, it takes that out, you do have a minor stopping point at 38.38, but you got a lot of air underneath that to under $38.
Goldman Sachs upgrading Corning, GLW. Stock is getting a good lift. I mean, Goldman is your most influential broker there. Stock is trading 1307 after closing at 1273. So opening right up into these couple of highs here. You had this from a few days ago, 1314 and 1315. I think it might take that out though and might continue here, but hard to say. You had multiple highs in the 13 area here too. Yeah, so you are opening into resistance, but it is a Goldman Sachs upgrade.
Yeah, let's see here. You did get that spike right up to 13. How high did we get? We got over 30. Nope, 1310's been the high in the pre-market, just ahead of those ahead of those highs. Decent volume, almost 100,000 shares. You take that out, you do have some more resistance coming in at the 1350 level. You had a high back on May 23rd, my niece's birthday, at 1356.
Microsoft raises the dividend here this morning. Obviously, we've drawn this trend for you, but
Okay,
nobody
yeah.
seems to care. Stock trading down 7 cents on the raising the dividend. So it's just this stock is just consolidating here too. I mean, this stock, even despite the great run up in the market, it's like a battle of the bears versus the bulls. This thing is just stuck between 30.50 and 31.20. What's going to break it out of this area?
Maybe if both me and you get short at 31.20.
Probably.
I don't know. I mean, someone really got carried away on this in the pre-market. They took this thing up to
After hours.
30. Yeah, yeah, 31.45,
That's
and
ridiculous.
now it's just come back in, settled around the $31 level. What I'd look at, Mr. Softy here, you had almost identical ranges from the last 2 days.
Wow.
So major support coming in at 31. As long as it holds above 31, it has a good shot to take out this 31 and a quarter level.
Want to just touch back to Apple one more time before we end the show here because they just said that they're pushing back the iPhone 5 delivery times. So
Oh.
it did sell off. I watched the stock action on that headline. It sold off $2 down below 700 briefly, but now it's back up over 700 again. So you only got to touch it just a little bit there. It's back up trading at 785.
Yeah, I'd still. I mean, I know that 695 is pretty close. I'd still look at that as a warning area when to exit this Apple computer.
Overall market thoughts here, Joel, just to close the show. Obviously, you know my thoughts. I think yours are similar. This 1449 area is critical.
Yeah, thing was yesterday in the afternoon, it just went down there and just hugged that area. Was trading between 51 and 52 for a long time, and a lot of times when a stock or an index gets down that area and just hovers down there, a lot of time you anticipate it breaking through. That wasn't the case. I'd really get bullish today if we took out this 1459 and a quarter resistance area. Not much in that to stop it to go into 1468, which was the high of the move. That's our show for today, folks, and we'll be back with you tomorrow.